together. Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswati Namaha. Om Shri Guru Paramparaya Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Shri Guru Paramparaya Namaha. Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. A very interesting thing. We were studying. Durlabham trayame vaitad devanugraha hetutam manushyattvam mumukshutvam mahapurusha samsrayaha. In the whole universe, there are innumerable number of creatures are there. Among them, human being is one of them. But it is told that it's a finally evolved animal. But the other evolution are required, that is internal. Like doctor says that in after 100,000 years after, there will be no appendix. It will be abolished. Dentists told that the evolution has been started, that wisdom's teeth, like we are having 32, so it will come within 28. That is the evolution, but that's the internal thing. Externally, we are evolved. But our main evolution is required internally. From animal man to man, and from man to God man. পশুত্ব থেকে মনুষ্যত্ব, মনুষ্যত্ব থেকে দেবত্বে উন্নীতই আমাদের সত্যিকারের বিবর্তন, evolution. The thing is, the glory of this human being or human life is eternal. Why eternal? Here in this very body, we can think about consciousness. And this human body is greater and revered to devas also. It's in Veda, it has been told that only in this human life, only Bhagavan love is possible. Means the jnana love. Attaining of knowledge is possible only in this very human life. We thought that this is only our Vedic thought process. No. In Abrahamic religion, means in Old Testament and in Quran it is there that God sent the messenger or Devadut. They created human beings. They prostrated them. God told the Devadutas to prostrate human being. Means according to them also, this very human life is very important because the same thing. Bhagavan love is not possible in any other bodies. That is why Durlabham Trayame Vaitad Devanugraha Hetutam Manushvatvam. And in this very life, if we don't have that desire to liberate, to get liberation, to moksha, see, people sometimes think for the political freedom. But who the people, means their interview or anything else, that people were more free before independence than now. This is the analysis. People were more free. Now, if you study the social thing, people are not at all free. So that dharmiya or spiritual thinking is to give us actual moksha socially also. Not only that liberation what we are talking of, what Shankaracharya ji talked about, even the social moksha is also required, and that is possible only by samskrita manaha. The thing is, so only getting human life is not enough. In that life, desire for a good thing. Here, moksha means not always the ultimate liberation. According to Anandagiriji and other later acharyas, that mumukshutvam is not meant only for the highest, because this is possible only for the supreme being, means who is totally ready by doing sadhana chatushtaya. Whoever else are bound from that state to another state is also called by mukti, maktum ichha. বোঝাতে পারলাম কি? আমরা যে যে অবস্থায় আছি, তার থেকে বেটার অবস্থা, অর্থাৎ মুক্তি একটা, আমাদের তো ক্রম মুক্তি, এখন সেটা সম্ভব কি করে? Now we, according to Vedanta, we must have to have that qualification, and that qualification is sadhana chatushtaya, shama dama uparama. So who doesn't have anything else, totally bound by samsara, from that state that I want to practice shama, it's one kind of muktumicha. Who has inculcated shama, his next step is dhamma, though it happens simultaneously, but it has step and gradation. So that is also, those steps are also indicated by the meaning mumukshutva. Clear? And then Mahapurusha Samsaya. I discussed elaborately. Mahapurush is he who leads you or who guides you to the liberation, moksha. And who is that person? Only a man of realization is Guru. But how he will understand? It's very difficult to, because nowadays in our social life, we consider he is the greater Swami who is having a greater post. Maybe he is the head of these things, maybe he is the in charge of something, maybe he is, in that way we measure a Swami whether he is Jivan Mukta or not. I'm not telling that they are not, but it should not be the measuring rod. According to Shastra, what is the measuring rod? Nah, that person can be my Guru who is having a parampara, who has studied under a great lineage. What we talk about, Guru Paramparaya Namaha, means Asmadacharya Parjantam Vande Guru Parampara Sadashiva Samaramaham. That lineage, that Advaitic lineage, and who teaches the Advaita Vedanta, who gives solution of any samsaric problem through the spiritual solution. And not only that, if you tell him all about samsara, he will listen, but he will convert it into spirituality. That person means considered as Mahapurusha. Maybe it's not for all, but for a spiritual seeker, in that way, he or she will consider someone else Mahapurusha and should surrender to him. Clear? Now, the next one. 4 and 5 I will chant together, and you will chant little slower speed, and please listen and chant. Labdhva kathanchinarajan madurlabham
दुर्लभम
tatrapi pumsvam shruti paradarshanam
तत्त्वापि वर्धनं श्रुतिपाददर्शनम्
यस्त्वात्ममुक्तौ नयतेत मूढधीः
यस्मात् मुक्तौ नयते न मूढति
सह्यात्महा स्वं विनिहन्त्य सद्ग्रहात्
अज्ञातसत्त्वः विनिपुन्न तत्त्वः
इतः स्वस्ति मूढात्मयस्तु
स्वस्ति मूढात्मयस्तु
No, its tune is different. Itah ko swasti मूढात्मा
मूढात्मा
यस्तु स्वार्थे प्रमाद्यते
यस्तु स्वार्थे प्रणादति
दुर्लभं मानुषं देहं
दुर्लभं मानुसन्देहं
प्राप्य तत्रापि पौरुषम्
प्राप्य तत्रापि पौरुषम्
कथनचित by any chance. In our book, I think it's not Anvaya is there. Kathanchit, Kathanchit, by chance, by any chance, Durlabham Narajanma, that rare human birth, means Kathanchit Narajanma Labdhva, by doing a lot of meritorious work or deed in past life, by chance, because among all millions and billions and trillions of creatures, only one is human being. So it's like getting a lottery, you know. Really speaking, it's like getting a lottery that we are human being. So labdhva kathanchit narajanma, by chance having gained that human life, durlabham narajanma, rarest human being, human life, tatra api pungstvam, and in that human body, that rational mind, not secular, rational mind, where body and mind is balanced. Tatrapi pungstvam durlabham. Evam shruti paradarshanam, means what will happen with that rational mind? Shruti paradarshanam. There should be some kushalata in Vedanta vichara. Sad asad Vedanta vichara, kushalata is very rare. Yaha tu mudhadhihi muktau atma muktau na yateta. He indeed, viveka rohita, murkha, who आत्म मुक्तौ न यतेत, जो खुद का मुक्ति के लिए प्रयास नहीं करते, सह आत्महा, वो व्यक्ति आत्मघाती है, ही इंडीड असद्ग्रहात् स्वम विनिहन्ति, असद्ग्रहात्, because taking the mithya vastu as Satya Vastu. By delusion, what he does? Swam vinihanti. He kills himself. I gave one example that in the jungle, if we start hugging a bear, thinking that it's a rag or blanket, then actually we are hugging our death only. And itaha kaha yaha means jo vyakti durlabham manusham deham. Durlabh manushya deha, the rarest human body. Tatra api pungsvam prapyatu. ये लाभ करके भी, after having gained that all those things, मूढ़ात्मा यस्तु सार्थे प्रमद्यति, स्वार्थे प्रमाद्यति means, I sometimes tell some our student Marwadi students, because they are in general businessmen, and business means profit and gain. So in some Vedantic discourse, that what kind of Marwadi you are, if you don't know the actual profit of life. So, Swarte Pramadyati means jo actual Swartha, the what is actual profit in life, who can't understand. Itaha nu kaha मूढ़ात्मा अस्ति. इधर जो है ना, इतः कस्वस्ति मूढ़ात्मा यस्तु सार्थे प्रमद्यति दुर्लभम मानुषम. Oh, here, so the thing is, after getting all those things, if anyone, that itah ko nwasti, not swasti, itah ko nwasti, nu asti, itah kaha nu asti. Itaha nu. Itaha is here Panchami. इसके अपेक्षा अधिक कहा मूढ़ात्मा अस्ति, और निर्बोध व्यक्ति कौन हो सकता है? इन ईशावास्य उपनिषद भाष्य, भगवान शंकराचार्य जी is telling avidya doshena विद्यमानस्य आत्मनः तिरस्करणात् आत्महन इति उच्यते. Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji is telling that when a person is a sinner, why? Because he has committed sins. What kind of sins? Now he is merged in the ocean of delusion. And knowing or living the concept of moksha, that person is actually committing suicide. Here, Atmaha means Sambhavana ko hatya karna. Because this body is inert. So if body dies, nothing happens. Atma is Ajara and Amara. Atma cannot be killed. Then what is the actual meaning of Atma Hanana? The Atma Hanana meaning means killing the probability, greater probability, the greatest probability to get moksha. Clear? In Swami Vivekananda's complete works, volume 6, page number 347, it is wrote, they alone live who live for others. The rest are alive externally, but they are actually dead enough. তাহারাই যথার্থ জীবিত যাহারা অপরের জন্য বাঁচিয়া থাকেন। অবশিষ্ট ব্যক্তিগণ বাঁচিয়া নাই, মরিয়া আছে। So the thing is, in utilitarianism बोल के एक किताब है. It's very famous book published in 1907. There it is told that then a content pig, uncontented human being is better than a content pig, contented human being is better. One vaguely self-contented person, from him Nirbodh Socrates is better. Yes.
I think not Nirbodh Socrates.
Atripto.
It is better to be a human being dissatisfied than a fool satisfied, and a Socrates dissatisfied. A human being dissatisfied than a pig satisfied, and a Socrates dissatisfied than a fool satisfied.
Yes. Stuart Mill. It's a wonderful thing. Have you ever thought that why that evolution, that Vivartan happened? From Atripti, we are here. From single-celled amoeba to human being, how that evolution happened? Because of the Atripti. The giraffe, in our childhood we have studied that maybe 1 million years ago the giraffe was like the size of a goat. But when the leaves were finished almost, they started going up, and this is the evolution. Likewise, a lot of Atripti made us like this, and Shastra is creating another Atripti, that is Mokshatvam. That is also the thing. If you are not desirous for liberation, then liberation is not possible though. You are liberated, but unless and until you don't know it, what is the use of that? Suppose the son of a king, he doesn't know that he is the son of the... So what is the use of that? So there is no, it's okay. It's okay. Relax. So in Kathopanishad, Parachaha kaman anuyanti balaha te mrityorayanti vitatasya pasham. It's 2.1.2. It's there that जो शिशु है मतलब अपरिणत बुद्धि का लोग बाह्य विषय भोग करने के लिए दौड़ रहा है. And what is the result? That person fall in the pit of the death. যে মানুষ মুক্তির চিন্তা না করে ভোগ্য বস্তুর পেছনে ছোটে, অ্যাকচুয়ালি আসলে সে মৃত্যুর দিকেই ছুটে চলেছে. আসুন আমরা একবার দেখি গুরুদেব কি বলছে. All the creatures must wait for millions and trillions of years until nature takes them up step by step and molds them into greater evolutionary equipments. In all the lower strata of existence, evolution is not a conscious development on the part of the individual, but an involuntary thirst up received by him from the course of nature. Millennia of growth, change, and decay must pass before a rock becomes soil, the soil anchors a tree, the tree bears fruit, and the fruit contributes towards the making of a human being. It is told in some Puranas that how a jiva comes again, you know. Told through rains the jivas come. And all the jivas don't get any birth. Some of them becomes the grains or fruit. That fruit, if it is eaten by a male body, it comes, then that jiva becomes pratishtha in mother's womb and gets life. This is the cycle. Here, Gurudev also mentioning in different ways. See, millennia of growth, change, and decay must pass before a rock becomes soil. The soil anchors a tree. The tree bears fruit, and the fruit contributes towards the making of a human being. Millions and trillions of spermatozoa and ova are produced, but only a few of them are united to create a human being. Of all the countless possibilities to be born a human is a rare chance indeed, and having thus got a human form, What do we do with it? Man, because of his mind and intellect equipment, is to an extent free from nature in evolving himself. Man alone of all the species of the living kingdoms can hasten his own evolution by cooperating with the great eternal scheme of things around him. Physically, he has evolved to perfection, and nature has nothing more to improve him. His next lap of evolution awaits him at the level of his mind and intellect, and this is a process in which nature cannot help him at all. What nature helped us? To get the highest form of evolution, and that is that human form. Now, what kind of evolution is needed? That is mental evolution and intellectual evolution that nature can't help, that we have to help ourselves. We have to lift up ourselves. That Gurudev wanted to tell. With this conclusion of Shastra in mind, when Bhagavan Shankaracharya takes up his pen to guide the generation, he must necessarily exclaim and conclude that there can never be a greater fool than the one who being blessed with a human birth and the necessary mental and intellectual capacities, does not intelligently invest them for the higher purpose of self redemption and self rediscovery. Clear? Vadantu shastrani yajantu devan kurvantu karmani bhajantu devataha atmaikya bodhena vinapi muktihi न सिद्ध्यति ब्रह्म सतां हरेपि वदन्तु शास्त्राणि यजन्तु देवान् कुर्वन्तु कर्माणि भजन्तु देवताः आत्मैक्यबोधेन विनापि मुक्तिः न सिद्ध्यति ब्रह्म सता भरेपि. शास्त्राणि वदन्तु. कार द्वारा? पुरुषाहा, पुरुषगण, मतलब the human being, some shastrani vadantu. They may have studied a lot of shastra scriptures or a little bit, and they start argument with the scriptural references. Shastrani vadantu. Devan yajantu. Maybe to please God and to earn money, they can do a lot of fire sacrifices, a lot of yajna they can do, because Veda has told or advised us or ordered us to do yajnas. Karmani kurvantu means he can do a lot of Vaidika karma. Devataha bhajantu. इष्ट देवता की भजना भी कर सकते, मतलब पूरा दिन भर सिर्फ पूजा 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 पूजा, नहीं तो सेवा 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 पूजा और शास्त्र पाठ और एवरीथिंग वी कैन डू. अपि ये सब करने के बावजूद भी, आफ्टर डूइंग ऑल दोज, आत्मैक्य बोधेन विना, if there is not that thought process or vichara or conviction in mind, Brahma Atma Aikya means Tattvamasi, the bhavna of Tattvamasi, Supreme Being and my individual being are same, and I am Brahman alone. If that conviction, that knowledge, not superficial knowledge, established knowledge, if doesn't happen, Brahma Satantarepi. One Brahma means a havoc thing. Brahmaji. His one day means for human beings a lot. 100 Brahma. And one Brahmaji lives for 100 years. Like that 100 Brahmaji's lifespan, liberation is not possible. Muktihi na siddhyati. Whatever you do puja, you do sadhana, bhajan, scriptural studies, scriptural discrimination, everything you do in the full extent. But if you don't have the desire for liberation, muktihi na siddhyati. I told you earlier also, that when I was in Belur Math Training Center, there the Darshana teachers, they were all hired, mainly from Jadavpur University. So one professor used to come. He was the retired head of the department of Jadavpur University. One person used to come from Bharatiya Darshan, Indian philosophy, another from Western philosophy. And there, the students had to serve the teachers. Though we were the Swamis and they were the Grihasthis, but on that time they were our Acharya. So we used to do seva. Seva means just arranging room for him, bringing food for him, bringing the glass of water, and washing the utensils after eating also. So I got chance to be in close proximity to that people. So one day I asked one person, he was 77, disabled to hear, and very keenly, means he lost his vision also, means his appearance was very old. And I asked, what is your desire? I want to see the marriage of my grandson. What is the age of your grandson? And now he is 2.5 years. Believe me, I just asked him that what you teach, like Bharatiya Darshana and all those things. So why this sort of, I asked, because we were just friend like. He told, see, two things. This is my profession. I have studied a lot, but I don't believe from my heart that liberation and all those things. He believed me, I'm touching the Shastra. He told me. So that's why I have no desire for liberation also. Then that famous stanza of Bhajagovindam came into my mind. Udara nimittam vahu kritavesham. Only for udara nimitte, fill up the stomach, a lot of people took up the profession. In their mind, from their childhood, they desired something that they will be like that, like that, like that, like that. But ended up in a clerical post in post office, on income tax or something like that. I asked, did you ever thought that you will be a clerk? No, my dream was like that. So why have you taken up these things? Now I got a secure job. I thought it's better to take up. Why I am telling, all of us, not only that fellow who has taken up the job of a clerk, we have a vague idea of security. That something will secure me. Just think, the minister, Nirapatta, that what the minister is called, Jatiyo Nirapatta Mantri, who is bound Pratiraksha Mantri, who has taken vow to secure our country. How many security personnel serves him and guard him? And that vague idea of security will never get ended. To secure us, we have made the house. Because in open sky, under the open sky, we feel insecurities. Then we don't feel secured. We install doors and windows. Then also we are not secured. We have invented door bolts, then lock, and there are gradation. If you believe in Shastra, our life become absolutely changed. I know such fellows, how happy they are, who really believes in Shastra and Shastra Bhakya. That is the impact. Vadantu Shastrani, Yajantu Devan, Purvantu Karmani, Bhajantu Devataha, Atmaikya Bodhena Vinapi Muktihi Na Siddhyati Brahma Satantareti. So we should pray to Lord that give us right kind of intellect, Shuddha Buddhi, by which we can surrender ourselves to the Supreme Being. as in our heart and mind that desire for liberation comes, as our mind directs us in a right direction, then our question will be that if our mind and intellect direct us, then what is the role of a guru? Have you ever thought we only listen some portion what we want to listen? If it was not, then all of us become the Mukta Purusha till today. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namah. Harihi Om. One moment. Today, Bapi, today is the marriage anniversary of our Sholil Babu and Shuklama. So, we will all celebrate it.